video just to help people to use the gas sampling kit, the biogas sampling kit, which is supplied by PpTek or by FCC labs in the UK. So let's just start by identifying what comes in the kit. What comes in the kit is the Tenax bag here, the syringe for drawing the contaminants, and also the Tenax tube. Tenax tube, you'll notice, has got an orange blob on one end, and if you look very carefully on the shank here, you'll find an arrow. This is the direction of gas flow that must be drawn across the Tenax tube. You'll also find a serial number, but you might well find it best to put a little tag on it just to identify what's actually on that particular sample. Sometimes it's also wise to write on the Tenax bag, especially if you're doing multiple sampling. You will also need, but it's not in the kit, something like this, this spanner, just to loosen off the connecting ends here and here, which will be shown later on in the video. It's most important not to get the valves wrong when you're opening the Tenax bag. The valve on the end here, the black valve, shouldn't be opened or moved at all. So when you're actually taking the sample, it's the white valve which moves from this stem, which opens up the bag, and then when you're finished, obviously to close the bag tightly before you connect the Tenax tube. Okay, so the next part of the video looks at where you should actually get the sample from, how you should sample it into the bag, and then draw it across the Tenax tube, ready for posting. The advantage of the Tenax tube obviously is that you can send it in DHL, FedEx or anything similar, because it actually doesn't have any gas in the tube, it's purely got the contaminants. Okay, taking the actual gas sample itself, as you can see, this is a gas sampling point that is fitted to our siloxane removal equipment, but equally you can take it from any gas sampling point. The closer to the engine you can take the gas sample, the better. It's most representative. You can see here I've got a gas stopper, so you need to remove that before you put the tube inside. You've got a lever here to vary the flow. Before you actually take a sample, the best thing to do is to allow that for about 15 seconds just to vent to atmosphere. This clears anything that's inside, and it gives you a good flow. Best to make sure that the gas flow itself is unrestricted, so that you're in the main part of the gas flow. This gives you the most accurate of samples. To allow the gas to escape for 15 seconds or so, this tends to just clean the area out, and turn it back off again and put your Tenax bag back on. Tenax bag has got this white valve, so this is the white valve you're opening here, and then just allowing the gas to fill the bag. Fill it till it's just about tight, then turn it off. Close the white valve here, and then you can remove the bag. Okay. Which is quite tightly inflated. What I generally speaking do is just to deflate it slightly before taking the sample, so just ease it back. It stops you puncturing the bag, and then the white valve up tight. So you then have the Tenax tube, and you'll be able to just take the ends off the Tenax tube carefully, the stoppers. And just to remember, the direction of the flow comes from the orange spot there. So you put the orange spot right next to the, or into the Tenax bag tube there. And with the other end, you put the spare piece of tube on, and to this part of the Tenax tube, making sure that it's from the orange spot, so that's the outlet. Okay, so if you then open up the white valve and turn this around so you can see how much it's drawing. Now this process should take somewhere in a region of 30 seconds, so just gradually draw it back and you'll feel it coming out. I won't take 30 seconds because it's not worth it, but it should take 30 seconds to draw in and through over the Tenax tube the 100 millilitres. So as you get to the end, you can see how much you've actually got. Okay, so that's 100 millilitres which has been drawn across this Tenax tube. Move the Tenax tube and immediately place the stoppers which seal the tubes. And again the other end. Okay, so that's nice and tight. Tighten them up with your spanner, both ends, and that's ready for shipment. So you can now ship that back to PpTek or to FCC, whichever you purchased it from. Bear in mind now you have gas in here and you have gas in here, so be safe. Just take that into a fresh area and just exhaust the gas on both of these. The Tedlar bag can actually be used again, but you'll find the kit always comes with a fresh Tedlar bag just to make sure that you've got everything fresh. Okay, so just post the Tenax tube back off to us and we should be able to finish it from there.